Hey, so delicious. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Crypto Code. Hello as well. So, hello, everybody. Here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to be AFK for a moment. Async. Because did I typo it somewhere or just because of like async? Async scene. Yeah. Well, it's not yet the time to move Zine to async. I do plan to move my projects pretty much as soon as it becomes feasible to the latest IO stuff, but it's a little bit too early. And in any case, we have work to do because WriterGate happened, right? So there's like this intermediate step where just the reader and writer interfaces have changed, and we need to upgrade them. And in any case, that's good because it's still like, you know, progress towards what we'll have to do once everything is merged back into main. Still no release with WriterGate on the website. Yeah, we regress that. It is entirely on us. We need to unblock that. We're aware of the problem. Right now it doesn't seem to be a huge priority, so we're gonna fix it. It's just that it requires a few people to agree on how this stuff should be restored, and basically that kind of process tends to run at the same frequency as our weekly meetings. Not strictly so, because you can have the discussions also not during the meetings, but the meetings is where everybody is present, and then we can you know, in voice agree on how to do things. It's easier than in written word, and for now we're not like super turbo prioritizing it. That said, yeah, we should fix this sooner than later. Agreed. That's a fair point. Okay, so give me, I don't know, like not even 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. I'll be right back, and then we can start. And in any case, where do you weekly meet with Andrew? On Zulip. Delightful Zulip. I love Zulip. No, I don't. But that's what we use. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see. I do actually have a question now. I've heard the big news about async. How does it work though? If there's a function that takes an IO that you would want to run in a sync context, it's basically that you create an IO object that is single threaded. No, here's how how I would think about it. Let me pull up the blog post. So here's how I suggest you think about it. Sorry. Did I say Zulip earlier? I mean, we do use Zulip mostly for communication, but yeah, I think I might have said Zulip. No, what we use is Jitsi. So from Zulip, there's a button to start a new call. And what it does is create a Jitsi invite, basically. So you switch to Jitsi. And it's Jitsi that I don't really like. Zulip is fine. Jitsi, not so much. In any case. So, by the way, I think I'm going to give a talk at some point titled Asynchronicity is Not Concurrency. So here's how I would think about it. Let's take a example that is not too complicated. Let's use this example here. Okay. So your question was, if there is a function that takes in an IO that you would want to run in a sync context, you have to create an IO object that is single threaded? No, you just call that function. So you can just look at here, for example. Here we're calling io.write all, well, out.write all, and then you immediately call the function. Because the point is that these async stuff is not based on coroutines like it was before, or not necessarily so. So here's what I would do. Forget everything you know about stackless coroutines. Everything. Forget about everything that you know about async await as it is in JavaScript, as it is in Python, as it is maybe in Ruby. People were saying that in Ruby works in a different way. I don't use Ruby, so I don't know all the rules. But like, forget Python, forget C#, forget all that stuff. Like the idea that you can only call an async function from another async function, which is not wrong, it is true. But it's really only true, or like mainly true, for stackless coroutines. And that like stackless coroutines have a ton of weirdness about them. Now with Zig, we're not coupling async to stackless coroutines anymore. So let's just put it this way, okay? When you see io.async, what you're stating is that these two things that are happening here can be executed out of order and it would still be okay. The algorithm would still be correct. It would not be wrong. That is what you're saying. So here in this case, the assumption is that we want to save a file, and to save a file, well, to save our data, whatever that means, you have to save two files. And we're saying that it doesn't matter in which order this happens. You can create first save B, you can create first save A, you can create the file save B, but then create the file save A, then write the actual data to save B, and then write the data to save A, or, you know, any combination of different sortings of these things. Each one of them is fine. That is what you're saying with io.async. Then when you need things to happen sequentially, you use await. Now, how does then the system make this thing happen out of order? Well, if you're using a non-multi-threaded, like if you're using blocking IO without any, basically any event loop, then here's how one way of making this work. You just call the things right away. Like you have io.async, immediately call save file. So it is async, but it is still not wrong to just call this function first, wait for it to be done, and then you call the second one and you wait for it to be done. That is still correct. That is perfectly fine, because io.async, the only thing that io.async means is that these things can be run out of order and it's still correct. That's all it means. Nothing more than that. It doesn't say that it needs to happen. It only says it can happen. That's what asynchronicity means, at least in the context of Zig. And we use the word asynchronicity because, I mean, the function is called async. And so that's a distinction that you normally don't see when talking about these concepts. But because usually when you use async, you don't have the ability. Does this happen in parallel? This doesn't say anything about parallelism. This doesn't even say anything about concurrency. This doesn't say anything about this. All this says is that these things could be done out of order, potentially. For example, the I/O, here's how it could happen in a concurrent, even parallel manner with a thread pool implementation, right? So in a thread pool implementation, what IO.async can do is schedule this call to save file on one thread, like spawn a new thread. Or let's say that it's not even a thread pool. It's an IO implementation that spawns new threads every time you want to do something async. So this spawns a new thread that runs save file. This spawns another thread that runs a different invocation of save file. The order in which these two things happen is not known to you, right? Because even though you spawn this thread first, the scheduler could park it, and then this one gets created. This one runs to completion, and only once this is completed, this one gets picked up again by the OS. So multi-threading can run these things in a variety of orders, right? Because the multi-threaded nature of things can make them stop at any point in time. And that is fine, because that's what you said. You said, look, it doesn't matter if save A, in which order you do save A or save B, it's fine to me. It's still going to be correct. And so that's what multi-threading would do. What does await do then? Well, if save file returns a value, which in our case, it's just an error, which you do want to be able to observe to know if something went wrong when you try to save this file. So what happens is that you call, you get future, and future is a thing that represents this computation being completed, and you call await on it. What does await look like in a multi-threaded implementation? It's a mutex. So your thing here, this await call internally calls, tries to, tries a mutex plus a condition variable, I guess. But in any case, let's just, for simplicity, let's just say mutex. So it blocks here on a mutex, the thread goes to sleep. Once this guy is done, it wakes up it pings on the condition variable, and that allows you then to grab that mutex. And so that's how you await. So this is one way of looking at it. How does it work in a fully blocking? So this is with multi-threading. How does it work in a fully blocking manner? So no multi-threading and blocking APIs. You just do save file first. This one, you do save file this second one. You save the error in here, and then await does nothing. Like await is literally a no op, and it gives you immediately the error that you can then unpack. Then with coroutines, this can still work. It's just more complicated because suspending the execution, now it's entirely up to you, because the OS doesn't like. The nice thing about threads is that the OS is able to stop a thread, save its executing context, like save the state of the CPU, save the stack, and then resume it later. But if you use stackless coroutines, this mechanism has to happen in a different way in your code, like in basically in user space. And so there's a ton more shenanigans going on. But the point is, right now, this model is not even yet back into Zig. It's probably going to come back, but it's not right now. And so the idea is that what I just told you about how this works in multi-threading will transfer to the stackless coroutines model, but you don't have to use that as your base model for reasoning about concurrency anymore, because that is going to be something, how can I say, you can leave that as like bonus credit at the end. The basic ideas will still be here. So this is what it is. This is how it's going to work. The caller needs to pass the I/O object, though. I only mean as a consumer of an API that uses I/O. That's the only thing I'm unsure how I can create an I/O object that is just a async context or something. You instantiate it in main. It's like an allocator, right? You choose a concrete, a specific allocator implementation. You instantiate it in main, and then you start passing it around. And the same principle applies here. So there's a gist from Andrew in this gist remainder, you can see it. So you want a thread pool implementation, you do stdio thread. Well, this stuff is not yet in main, right? But it's in a branch. But you do stdio thread pool, you do init, you decide how many threads you want to have in your pool, and then you grab the interface from it, and that's that, and that's what you start passing around. That's it. So what is blocking IO going to look like? You do std.io. I don't know, blocking blocking IO, and you probably won't even need to instantiate it. It's probably, you know how SMP allocator doesn't even require you to instantiate it. You just, it's already an interface. So that's probably how it's going to look like. Yeah. What are you doing with Lolicious lately that you start using the word object? It feels so uncomfortable, but it will return an instance of the interface. Yeah. Okay, let's start doing some things. I have so many things to do. I don't even know. Well, you know what? I'm gonna start at a random point. But I'm guaranteed to forget important stuff. So okay, here's things I want to do. Copy. One thing that I want to do is this. Another thing that I want to do is github.com/christophit Zig AFL kit. There's an issue that I want to reply to. I'm gonna reply to the issue first. Okay, Zigbee always tries to build instrumented exe. So this is an issue that OpenTrace Tralloc, and then I tried to reply to him, but I forgot everything. So so now I started to remember how this stuff works. So what Travis is complaining about is that if you use Zig AFL kit, then certain things like it forces building an executable every single time, and it doesn't play nice with this idea in the build system where things only happen when necessary. And I forgot about the context, and so I now remember, and I'm gonna reply to him. Did I take on type known? No, it's I should say build type known. Oh, not build time. I should say config time. The answer is the correct term is config time. So second point. Second point. Also, let's see how YouTube is doing. YouTube, you good? YouTube seems good. Okay. Second point is uh yes, building the exe unconditionally. Actually no, because at this point you should do defuzz. I guess there's no second point. Let me reread precisely what he was saying. Will we be able to create AFL compatible fuzzing without depending on AFL++? No. Hmm. Well, no. There is one thing. Wait. There is one last thing. That said, if you have a project where you want to consider, because it is a lazy dependency right in here, AFL++, it is lazy. Okay. So issue replied. So here's here's the thing with this other link that I have. So auto merge bot. This is not my project. This is not even a Zig project. So what am I doing? Am I lying? Am I lying on stream about Zig projects and then I sneakily give you JavaScript? Well, I mean, if you're not even able to tell, right? People have said that Zig looks like JavaScript too much. So, yeah, there's that. But so here's what's going on here. I have Zig.day, and previously it only had Milan running, and it only had Milan running, and so it was very manual because we had created an event, but then nobody knew about the website yet, so there was nobody to notify about the event. But then now there's Portland up and running, and if for some reason somebody is watching who lives, I guess Oregon or what's the one more north? Washington? I think it's Washington and then Oregon, right? So if you live in Washington, Oregon, or California, maybe? Maybe California might be a little bit too far. In any case, people that live around Portland or Seattle might be interested in joining. And so when we wanted to publish this event, people did sign up with their emails, and we needed to send out emails. And there's a whole system that basically makes this work. So here's how it works. You, as a conference organizer, are added to the Zig.day repository. So you're added to the Zig.day repository, but I don't want event organizers to be able to override each other's work. Which how can I say? Well, honestly, shouldn't normally be the case. But if we can make sure to protect people, that seems a good idea. So how does it work? We have code owners. So code owners is a special file that tells you for a given path, and I guess anything inside of it, it tells you who owns a certain something. Hello, Cyberfart. So we have the owner of the San Francisco Zig Day, the owner of the Vancouver Zig Day, the owners of the Portland Zig Day. And what I would want is something like this. I have in the repository settings, I can show you even, under rule sets, I have a rule set that says, look, on master branch, unless you're an admin, you cannot push directly because you have to send a PR. So it is mandatory for people to send a PR. Hello, Neil. So you need to send a PR, and it is also required a review from code owners. Require an approving review in pull requests, the modify files that have a designated code owner. And then there's also required approvals 0. So we do not require, okay, so here's how it works. We do not require approvals because anybody can give approvals, but we do require a review from a fellow code owner. What is the problem with this setup? So when I did this setup, my expectation was that what this would mean is that if you only touch files that you're a code owner of, then you should be able to merge your own PR. If you touch files that belong to somebody else, then you can't. Turns out this is not how it works. Turns out that GitHub, in a growing list of disappointing choices, has never made this work. There's actually a thread with a bunch of people asking for this, but GitHub never did it. And this is actually fairly common setup when it comes to translations. For example, you have a project that has translations, you have people that know that language, and so what you do is that you make them code owners of the specific file that contains, or directory, whatever, that contains translations for that language. And so that way they get notified if somebody touches one of those files. But also you would want to give them the ability, special abilities, right? In any case, so my dream doesn't work. So how do we make this happen? A way of making this happen is basically what we do is have a bot that reads, for every PR, it reads the code owner's file. It checks that all the files modified, if all the modified files belong to have as a code owner the author of the PR, and then the bot triggers a merge. That was my idea. And I believe that this bot kind of does some of this work, just not exactly in the way that I just described it. But I was thinking that maybe it could be modified to make that happen. So that was the idea. Yeah. Because otherwise my system can't work. Without that, my system can't work. And so the only way to do this is, I don't know, remove all restrictions, and then everybody can touch everything, but then hope that that doesn't happen. But the problem is that, so here's one last reason why I'm locking this stuff down. Normally sorry, what am I looking at? Zig file kit? No, Zig Day. Normally what happens is that you're just, I don't know, maybe modifying a file on the website and it doesn't matter much. But in this case, what happens is that every time you create a new event, so let's say USA, Portland, and there's event number 0, every time this is created, an email goes out. So you kind of want to make sure that a conference organizer that goes rogue, you kind of would like to make sure that they don't go and spam people subscribed to other Zig Days. That is kind of the idea. So this is something that I want to work on. Maybe I shouldn't do this now, but I need to do it eventually. Yeah. Okay, in any case, this is it. Let me see what else is there to do. I have more issues open that I need to close. I have some stuff to implement in Zine. I need to update Zine to post WriterGate. Maybe that's something that I should do. It's time to port Zine to 0.15. 0.15 is not out yet, but it's close to. So maybe it's time. Yeah, let's just take the plunge, shall we? I think it's time to take the plunge. By the way, here I have a build of master branch, and now I have Zig 0.15 as Zig 1. Maybe I should also update my main Zig. So Zig up, default 0. Master. And then I need to Zig up patch master. Oh, and guess what? Now this is going to be a little bit old. People were pointing it out. Is this a pre WriterGate build? Hey, Neurosite, yes, it is close. It should be August because LLVM 20 is already out. So yeah. And I think the DIO stuff will be in 0.16. Probably. Let's go to Zine. How are we doing? We're fine. Git pull. Anything to pull? Oh, we did pull some stuff. Oh, Nick's stuff. Right. Okay. Here's what we want to do. Number one. Hey, two step. 1034 includes Bartagate. Delightful. Thank you very much. So Zig build. This is gonna fail then, guaranteed. I think also it's time to update also some other dependencies. I think I still have the spammy version of query generation. Yep. Look at it. Look at it, spam. And then we fail because things have changed. Expected type mem alignment found comp time int. Jesus. Okay. Let's make this happen. Let's start by doing this. Go to ZLS, git pull, Z build release fast. Oh shit, it is not. Oh wait, you said 1034 includes WriterGate, and I'm definitely very far from that. Never mind. I thought I should have double checked the number. So we're not doing fine, but I have Zig1. So that's fine, I guess. So build with Zig1 release fast. The problem is, if this is not aliased to Zig, then ZLS is not going to be happy. Oh shit, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Catching my silly mistakes. Man, I can't wait for the Arch backend. Come on. Jacob Lee. Give us the ARM backend, the Arch 64 backend. By the way, for the people that were following along what's happening with the new async stuff, so the post got on Hacker News, of course, and I guess it's third page by now. Yeah, and it's here. It got a good number of points and a good number of comments. 265 comments. Yo, hey Jacob Lee. So yeah, there's a ton of comments. Most of them are kind of worthless. People are really hung up on the function coloring analogy because, I guess, my bad. I basically said that we have defeated function coloring, and I also qualify what I mean by that, but yeah, people don't care. The people don't really care about practical aspect of things. People care mostly about just arguing for no reason. So my interpretation of function coloring, as read in this blog post, is that if you async is viral because if you have, like in I don't know, JavaScript or let's say Python, you have async stuff, then everything, if you want to use async stuff, everything, your own stuff has to be async in turn. and that is problematic. And also when you're using async stuff, you can't really use blocking IO because the async stuff tends to opt you into the event loop system, and so blocking IO just can't be done. And in our case with the new stuff in Zig, this is not true, because when you call io.async, you're just stating that these things can happen out of order, but you're not forcing for that to happen. You're not making extra promises other than that. And so you can express concurrency. Well, I shouldn't say concurrency. Let's say asynchronicity. You express asynchronicity, but then this stuff can still be run in blocking mode. And that is not normally the case with other implementations. Not every single one of them. I don't know every single one implementation out there. I'm sure that functional programming languages are very clever. And I'm sure that especially higher level programming languages with a functional angle to them are like turbo clever, fantastic. But when it comes to lower level programming languages, you like, this is the first time that this is being attempted pretty much. And so yeah, so that, well, basically this is it. So so this is what I was saying, that basically you can use async await, you can express that stuff can happen out of order in your code, and then whether that happens or not depends on the runtime. And you don't get immediately forcefully opted into stackless coroutines, even if you don't want to. And that is great. And that is a huge change compared to the past, or what's out there, at least when it comes to systems programming languages. But people really got stuck on the definition, wanted to argue it into oblivion. What is funny is that this happened, but then there's another post. Let me see if it's after or below or above that one now. By now, oh, it might be above. Oh, it might be still above. No, it's not above. It has to be below at this point, because it's definitely not on the homepage. So this is the main one. Hello, Hacker News. Did they completely nuke it into 10th page or something? Oh yeah, well, kinda. Okay, so there was another one after that. By the way, here you can clearly see the hand of manual curation on Hacker News. Not complaining honestly about it. That is fine. But so this one was posted afterwards. It's a reply. So this was a reply blog post where the author is arguing that function coloring is inevitable because there's this pesky IO parameter that now you have to pass around. And what do you do when you don't have it? Now there's a function that doesn't have IO, and so now you're back to square one. Wouldn't agree with that with that perspective, but that's what was said, which is funny. And so this one also has its own fair share of comments arguing the problem. Anyway, what did I want to say about this? Oh, nothing. That this is funny. So, like, if you were following along, then this happened, and then it doesn't even end here, because it goes even further than that. Then after that, then after that, there was another post by Tristan Pamble. The color doesn't matter. So this is like in some ways a reply to a reply, or I guess a reply to the comments in general. That was funny. Although this post, I think, did not it didn't get on Hacker News. What was the wording? Color doesn't matter. Let's see. Oh, posted 3 hours ago. And 15 hours ago. Are those separate entries or did they get merged together? They didn't get merged together. Hacker News. I think that they normally merge stuff together. What did they do? What? How did it happen this time that it didn't get merged? Just in case this still devolving into discussion about colors. I mean, it's, well, that's what the blog post is about. There's no way it does not devolve into that. Oh, I wrote this in response to other discussions around Hacker News. So there we go. So anyway, what can I say? Fun times. Reach up to 100,000 more users now. Thank you, Elon. I'm good. Let's see. I started learning Zig this weekend because I watched your stream last week about the new async stuff. I keep in mind that this stuff is not yet in Zig, so it's gonna be a few months before it gets into Zig. Not a ton of months, probably less than 6, but it's not gonna be immediate. Well, be aware that this change is coming. So things do get changed in Zig. It's a V0 language, precisely so that we can be able to do that. Will it be in 0.15? No, because 0.15 is coming out very soon. Zig releases are tied to LLVM releases. So every time LLVM makes a new release, Zig also makes a new release of Zig. And LLVM 20 is out, so Zig 0.15 is going to be out soon. Let's see, I don't have an opinion about the async stuff. Just dig all the work you and your team and the team do in the opinion of the language. Well, thank you. If you want a recommendation, join a Zig community and interact with other people who are using and learning Zig. That helps a lot. If you hope to be able to do everything as a solo developer, you know, reading books and stuff, it's a little bit too early for Zig. We're not yet at a point where the language is stable enough that you can have a leisurely experience doing things entirely on your own. Is there a new implementation of the new async based on stackless coroutines? Or is that still theoretical? It is still theoretical, not terribly theoretical, because there is a proposal for stackless coroutines, and it seems sound as far as I can tell. There's definitely some details that I'm not aware of, but in any case, that proposal is not accepted yet. So we need that proposal accepted at the very least before we can see stackless coroutines again. In the meantime, what you have is thread pool and green threads. And green threads works because yeah, why do green threads work? They work because you wait. So let me think about it for a moment. The green threads work because stack switching doesn't require language support, and then what about stack sizes? How are stack sizes decided then? That is something that I don't know about. The stack sizes part I'm not fully clear on right now. But in any case, green threads are less intrusive than stackless coroutines, generally speaking. It's just fixed in thread, like in thread.spawn for now. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So it's entirely relying on the assumption that resizing needs to succeed, and if resize doesn't succeed, then it's a crash. because I remember that computing max stack size for these things requires restricted function pointers, I believe. So yeah. Green threads implementation just allocates a whole new stack for each awaiting task, right? Yeah. The term used internally is fiber, which I think it's appropriate, right? That's usually what you call a single green thread, a fiber. Or rather, you know, I don't know how common it is. Common enough though that I've seen that in the past. Okay, what were we doing? Let's do some programming. Okay, we got ZLS. So we're going to Zine. Let's Zig build. Uh-oh. Caught. I've been caught. Oh no, I've been using, no, wait, I haven't been caught. That is not me. Uh-oh, that is Zaid. Well, no, this is Ziggy, so this is me. Whoops. So we have to fix our usage of using namespace. So first one, I guess number one, we need to update Zaid. So Zig fetch, save, Rocco Rager Zaid. Gimme new Zaid. Zig build. So Zaid hasn't updated yet. Let's take a look at how Zaid is doing. Viper is the Win32 terminology for a stack that is not hardbound to a thread. Okay, cool. I think the same terminology is also used in, I think Ruby calls them fibers. I think Twisted also used to call them fibers. I might be wrong. And I think there is something else that calls them fibers. I forget though. What is that? Oh no, my camera is turning off occasionally. But it's not really the camera, the capture card. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. Sorry. I'll stay like this for now. Okay, does it have PRs or something? Does it have a branch for 015? It has tags, but that is unfortunate. So what do? We do the work ourselves? Oh no, man. Using namespace is tedious to get rid of. So let's see. Where is this even done? Oh, wait. Jen? In the build script. Right. Oh, this is such a silly thing. So yeah, that makes sense. I used to use Zite at build time, but I don't anymore. And the trick that shall no longer be. I mean, you know, this could just be put into a definition, so who cares? So here's what we're gonna do then. It's time. It's forking time. Fork. Do I have Zite on my system? So git pull and then remote add. Let's call it fork. There we go. Like as simple as that. What's the other problem? Wait, where's my, is this it? Yeah. Go to previous diagnostic. Why do I see a problem at the bottom and it's not? Oh, there we go. Root source file. Oof. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if there's anything else that need to be put there. Right, this is p.create module. Same problem down here. There you go. Next problem. Hopefully this is the last one. Okay, so here's how we do it. Go to Zine. Look at the zone file. Find Zeit. We do path equals local Zeit and see where that leads us. That makes us have issues with Ziggy. Okay, let's do the same with Ziggy. Ziggy is not in the build script, is it? Oh, it's still in the build script. I guess it's the same idea. Yeah. Oh no. Guess we can copy that line and just apply it in a bunch of places. Why are you creating so many identical modules? I don't know, because I'm dumb. Because I'm not refactoring things well. You're right. I should do better. Okay, so these builds. Okay, let's maybe reason about it a little bit more. What am I doing here? So this is the Ziggy library. This is the CLI executable. Then what are we doing afterwards? We're creating another CLI executable. We can do it like this then. Okay. There we go. So then what do we do here? This is still CLI mod. Then this is a function fixing Ziggy. Fixing CLI mod. Oh, it's grayed out even. Holy shit. Unused function parameter. I mean, this is so funny. Well, the grayed out is not the right word, but it's like toned down. I don't know what to call it, like desaturated. In any case, it's funny because this is so useless. It's a hard error in Zig. So, I mean, maybe this is fanciness that ZLS added. Like it now communicates also that over the protocol. But it's fancy, it's fine. But it's funny because, yeah, sorry, this doesn't fly in Zig anyway. So, oh shit! But here it's release fast. So never mind. No CLI mod here. Unit tests. You know what? Rest is fine. Do we Zig build? We don't. Root source file, install test options, build 14. No. I'm looking at something wrong. Are you a software engineer? I have successfully convinced some people that I am, yes. Zig YAML. Oh shit. We need to go deeper. And this message is not saying that it's overriding a dependency, so this did not go well. And it is up to date, so nothing new happened. Okay. Wait, I'm confused. Different commit? Oh, different hash. Okay. I think YAML is a better name. Does the new writer interface include buffering? Yes. And the way it works is that if you're making a chain of these things, you do not want to have buffering all over the place. You only want to have buffering in one of them. So you instantiate one with the buffering, and then the rest you instantiate with an empty slice as buffer. I don't know if it has. By the way, I'm discovering the details of this API right now because I'm about to get there. But I know that you can create a writer or reader without buffer by passing an empty slice. I don't know if it has like a convenience like init and then init with buffer and then you just use init, or if init accepts a slice and then it's up to you to pass in an empty slice when you don't want buffering. But either way, that's how you do it. I want to become a software engineer, but sometimes I feel software engineering is already oversaturated. Is it right? Have you advice for me? There are certainly changes going through the industry right now because of AI in part. Well, I mean, honestly, the industry has been kind of more tumultuous than in the past, I think, in the last few years. I think it all started when in the United States, they changed the fact that you cannot mark R&D expenses, R&D costs as I don't know what the terminology is, but basically previously companies were able to say, look, I'm paying these people to do R&D, and so this is something that should be subtracted before you charge me taxes. And then there was a change in how this stuff works. And now recently companies have, I think Biden made that change. And then companies have been, like tech companies haven't been able to do that anymore. But then that got changed back again by Trump, I think. So that did cause some changes. then what else happened? I think something else happened in the meantime. And then most recently, there's been AI. So all these things are making the hiring landscape weird in various ways. So what I would say is that if your plan is, and I'll be blunt about it, but if your plan is to become a mediocre software engineer, AI is kind of coming for your job. And we have plenty of mediocre engineers in our industry, that's for sure. But if you really like the subject matter and you are willing to become a very proficient one, which doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, this kind of special person that, you know, only a handful of people exist like you in the world. I'm not talking this extreme level. I'm talking about the difference between somebody who considers software engineering just a job. And, you know, you just do that as a job. You learn how to do the things that you need to do. And then, you know, at the end of the day, you call it a day and then you go do something else, which, by the way, there's nothing inherently wrong with that at all. But if that's, but people in that situation right now are kind of they're starting to get competition, evolutionary competition from AI. Whether that is good or not, whether AI is actually able to substitute these people or not, that's actually not even that important, because I mean, it is important from the perspective of what will actually end up happening, but right now things are happening at that level, and so you have good chances to get caught in the crossfire. But if instead you spend effort becoming a good software engineer, not necessarily a uniquely, amazingly good one, right? But just somebody who takes the job more seriously than what I just described, then you should be fine, because there's not that many of those people out there. And there's always going to be need. All the mediocre software engineers will become mediocre testers instead. Man, if you think about it to some degree, isn't that already the case? To some degree? I mean, you're right in saying that well, formally that is not the case at the moment. And with AI, this will be definitely true to a greater degree. But you know, when people like when you're like I don't know, 20 abstraction layers above, like 20 frameworks above the ground, and like you touch and somebody asks you to touch something, your job is mostly a tester's job. Like you do make the change, that's software engineering work, I guess, but then all you can do is poke the thing and see if it does what it's supposed to do. Mediocre engineers just get promoted to the position where they do the least damage, or maybe there was a Dilbert comic. Yeah, well, what's there's a principle, right? That's I think a mathematician. Yeah, the Peter principle. But you know what I find more insightful? It's called I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, so you'll have to you'll have to make do. But I think it's called the Gervais principle, and it has to do with The Office. This to me seems orders of magnitude more true than the Peter principle. Yabai? I don't know what Yabai is. Sorry, I'm definitely not using it. Well, I'm almost certainly not using it because I don't know what it is. The heck is Yabai? Tiling window manager. Oh, wait. Is this it? No, this is rectangle, but I'm not even really using it. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just tiling this stuff by hand because I have a very static layout, so it's fine. Okay, so where were we? Ziggy, and then from Ziggy we have the problem with Zig YAML. So uh, new tab. Already up to date. All right, it's just git remote. Dude, please give me the details. Oh my god, why is this thing verbose? Please. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so we have our remote is Jacob's 1, so I think it's time for us to fork. Or let's see if he has like PRs and stuff. Oh my god, he has 11 PRs. Last change 3 weeks ago. Later pressing Boolean support. Oh no, there is a ton of stuff happening here. Okay, do we know what the problem was with this precisely? Oh, it's still old build script stuff. Any PR with new build script stuff? Nope. Okay, fork. Okay, so in Ziggy, we go into the zone file. We go to our local. Zig build should have the same problem. Now we're going to our local thing. We don't have dependencies, so we seem to be good. I'm gonna put this to 0.15.0. Although that's not true because right now we're at a dev version. You know what? I'm not gonna change this. Let's just fix the main code. Okay, YAML module, YAML tests, add test. That's it. This one's YAML. This is rooted in YAML.zig. This is gen path. Oh god. Okay, so this is secret module. Bad news about the backend. Oh no. What up? A game just came out. Wait, which game? Which game is tempting you? Test.zig. Okay, now we have problems with FNT stuff. Woo! It is a bit painful, huh? Updated to 0.15. Maybe this is too early. I don't know. Let's go ahead and see what happens. So there's no FMT escapes. So what is this stuff? FMT and then escapes in here? No. FMT string. Thank you. Returning formatter for escaping a double quoted Zig string. That makes sense. Is it building now? No. Oh, right. Spec 156. Well, I guess I could do this. I could search for open close. Oh, what am I doing? Open close curly gate, curly braces. That gives me also some false positives, but there we go. So I think it's S also for errors. Cache root. That's a directory. Does it have its own FMT? It does. So that would be an F. T for errors? Oh, you're right, for tag. What is it? 122. Man, that's gonna be some work. All the work working and changing dependencies makes me appreciate how easy those things are with Git submodules. It's not a lot of work in my case. Also, we Git submodules. The submodule would still be another repository, right? So how would it work? Because I don't use submodules. So the way it would work is that you already have a submodule. So you would CD into the submodule, add a remote, and somehow sync it to your remote. And then, so then you would still have to have a fork, right? I don't know. It seems maybe mildly more convenient, but not terribly so. Spec 132. Is this the same file that I'm talking about? Specs 600. Yeah, there we go. Test case name. It's a string. Wait, how did this work before? What? Oh, invalid from a string S for type FMT. Oh, yeah, I'm dumb. I got it completely wrong. That's an F. Oh, we're linking. Well, that wasn't terrible. Then something else fails. YAML.zig. You know what? This is a lot of work that we are doing in a library that we don't own. So we are basically switching from the old style reader and writer to the new one. That maybe requires a little bit of thinking. You know what? I'm starting to doubt myself because we might need to do some more invasive changes. What do you use YAML for? I use YAML as a inside of the Ziggy executable to give you the ability to convert from and to YAML, I believe. Gates to modules can be patched in place. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can patch it in place, but then you can't just push that, right? Like the change, can the change live in your sub module, but not in any remote? In any case, here, I think that what matters is whatever method you use, then your change should be something that you can PR easily, that you can upstream easily. Oh no, wait, it's not a file. Yeah. Okay, let's continue a little bit more. Let's see where that brings us. File is not marked pub. What? Oh wait, maybe I'm used to the new stuff. Oh yeah, right. I'm used to the change to the full IO changes. This is not live yet. So this is std.fs.file.std out, right? And then the writer gives us what kind of writer? That is a new writer. Okay. Except the one function argument found 0. Is this the buffer? Oh. Oh shit. Right. So now there's a choice to be made about what is the correct buffering, which will require me to think more about what's going on here because I don't know what's going on. Although maybe it doesn't even matter too much because this was getting std out and calling write all and ignoring the where is even this std out being used? YAML.stringify std out. Use writer streaming, otherwise the first write will be an op. What? That can be deleted for now. You know what? That seems reasonable because I think that we can make progress with the rest. Yeah, that does not seem a bad idea. Yeah, we comment it out for now. Wait, maybe I was joking. Maybe it turns out that it's actually not even implemented yet. Are you serious? You know what? Maybe it was there for the future. Let's see. CLI convert. No, we do import YAML. Okay, so I was that wasn't me. Where's YAML? Why can't I find it in here? Am I going insane? Is this the wrong build script? YML? Not even that. What? This is a bit confusing, isn't it? So the zone file has has stuff, but we don't pass around YAML. Actually, so this can be seen in the CLI. It's the CLI thing. So it's CLI.root module. Go to references, none. Okay, so I think it was never even wired in. I guess we only support JSON. Okay, so here's how we do it. Yeah, exit. Okay, we're back one stack level. LSP code gen. I think that I got APR from Tegatrix about this stuff. Let's see. Oh, but he didn't put it here. He put it in Zig LSP kit, maybe? No. Super HTML. I think these kinds of Zig version upgrades would be 3 or 4 Claude. To some degree, yes. Well, you know, probably. I mean, you would actually have to try out, right? But there are some aspects that are non-trivial. Specifically, if the change is just stuff being shuffled around, of course. But when there's a design change, you need to reevaluate your choices that you were making based on that. I'll give you an example. Previously, the reader interface wasn't buffering. You had to wrap a buffered reader on top of a non-buffered reader to make a reader that can do buffering. So, and same with writer. And now that you have buffering in interface, you have to make choices. In this case, it's not huge, right? Maybe it's not a super complicated choice, and you know what? Maybe Claude could coincidentally do it right. But as more serious changes happen, the more you need to redesign your code, basically. I think that, for example, once the full IO stuff comes out, you should probably rethink what you're doing with IO in general. And that is more complicated than what Claude can do reasonably. Will you compare performance before after? Yeah, I mean, we know that Zine builds my blog in 7 milliseconds. Let's see what happens after this, I guess. 7, 8 milliseconds, I guess it depends. Let's see. Over time, I've worked on moving more of ZLS's LSP-related utilities in LSP code and made it usable as a library, which wasn't the case when Zig LSP was created. This means that there can be one less dependency to maintain for Super HTML and Zig while still having access to the most utilities were provided by Zig LSP kit. Wait, so this is something else that we need to use directly? You don't have this anymore. You have logic. I'm confused. I'm a little confused. Wait, where does the new dependency come into play? Oh, wait, now I get it. He's saying, let's just kill LSP Kit completely. Holy shit. He's saying, let's just fucking kill Zig LSP kit. I'm bored. Oh yeah, he's replacing it with LSP code gen. Well. Okay, let's merge. Okay, so what has this changed really? I guess some things were changed, and he was saying that he's gonna do also the change to Ziggy. Did he actually send it? I guess we should double check. Oh, he did not PR it. Let's see if he has it ready. I'm gonna ping him. Because if he has it ready, then that's work that I don't want to repeat. Okay, I wrote Techatrix about this. Let's see. Would the full IO update remove the std.fs namespace and move it to the newbie table? I don't know if std.fs will be deleted. I don't think so. But some of the things that we were grabbing out of std.fs, now you will not be grabbing from there anymore. And you will grab from std.io or the IO interface instance that gets passed around. Will this have an impact on binary sizes? Yes, because previously readers and writers were generic. There was also a type erased version, so some people were using the type erased version and they were probably getting the benefits of reduced binary size. But in general, yeah, that should be the case. It shouldn't be huge, though, I think. So, okay, YAML is fine then. Yabai, we don't care. Jabai principle, that's fine. Zite, we have our own Zite, I think. Then we were looking at, so we're looking at Ziggy right now. And we're wondering if, so I guess I can do the update. Oh, he's typing. Okay, while we wait for Techatrix to type, let's see what else we can do. Um, well, we need to unblock ourselves from that before we can move on. Do, 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 do. Okay, what do we do in the meantime? Yeah, we have other PRs to take a look at, right? We were looking at Super HTML, and Super HTML had stuff in it. Some maintenance for the VS Code extension. What did Techatrix do? The user comments to explain the changes. A bunch of code and dependencies was no longer needed since the extensions runs the LSP with WASM. Oh, nice. Okay, remove code that is no longer used or needed. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Nice. Remove unused dependencies. Mocha, which is lint VS Code test. Okay. Hello, Robert. Add package configuration for the built-in try server option. Oh. Traces the communication between VS Code and the language server. Okay. Invert glob patterns. This makes it more explicit which files should be packaged and prevents uncommitted files from being accidentally included. The included files should be unchanged. Oh, instead of being exclusionary, it becomes inclusionary. So this is the only things that are in. That sounds good. That's awesome. Merging. Okay. Okay, so here's since Techatrix is taking on Zig LSP kit fully, let's go do this. Wait, how do you archive? No, it's too early for archiving this because he might rename this, so we need to wait for the renaming to happen. Wait, am I doing it wrong? This does not seem the right repo. Oh shit. Do, 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 do. Where's Zig LSP code gen? Oh, it's under Zig tools. Well, wait, is that git add amend? Oh no, it's GC amend. Okay. Okay, so this is done. So for Ziggy, here's what I think we can do. We can momentarily abandon Ziggy and see if we build from here, or in any case, do what's necessary to build from here, because, so here's how it's gonna work. Here we have local Ziggy. Is there something else that depends on Ziggy? I guess we need to take a look now at what's going on with Super HTML, for example. Does it depend on Ziggy? It does not. But Super MD does. Yeah. Okay, so Super MD is now like this. No. Okay, so now we basically unblocked ourselves, and now we have new errors to play with. Yay. Okay. So what do we have here? Wow, a lot of stuff. We don't have add static library in cmarklib. Oh, that's the cmark repository, I think. The all your code base one. This is the real cmark. That's not the cmark that I wanted. Oh no! This is it, because it's not on all your code base, right? It's mine. No definition found. It's linkage. Wait, why did I think there was a kind thing all in case? There's no target. Oh, right. Link kind is what gets put here. Wait, what? Oh, there's a root module. Okay. How does it work then? You add these things to the module then? Is this how it works? I guess it's for us to discover. I guess sanitize thread goes in here. So this is it. Okay. And then the lib has add config header. Okay. Okay. Next problem. Another static library. Add library. The CMark extensions lib. I believe that these extensions also should not become anything other than that. Add executable. CMark GFM exe. Oh, there's one. Wow. Zig build. Hello, Dawn of my Requiem. Oh, we build. Do we have test? We don't have test. Run? Do we don't have run? But we have Zig out. We have bean. And we have the executable. Which hangs? I actually never ran the executable, I think. Oh, so it's not hanging. It's like waiting because we didn't pass in any argument. Well, I mean, good enough for me. Oh. Oh. Wait, we don't have a zone file? Just go to CMark, I guess. Although it's CMark GFM, but version 0.1.0. Fingerprint, that needs to be different. No dependencies. Paths, I don't know, everything. Hello, yeah, I haven't streamed for a while, but now I'm back. I'm back, and I now get to enjoy the process of upgrading all my dependencies to new Zig stuff. So nice. You know what? Maybe I will put the underscore GFM. We still Zig build? No, right. We need the fingerprint copy. Okay, so Simmer GFM updated. Pushed. So now I can go here and say in Zine. Well, no, we can go to Super MD. Oh, I used to call it only GFM. Honestly, that was a good name, GFM. Okay, do we Zig build? We don't, because of our dependency on Super HTML. Super HTML in turn is kind of busted. I think this is what we can now proceed on. Hmm. Oh, look what happened in the meantime. Can I ask a trivial question? Yes. Wait. Okay, I'll get there. How to write a code by my own. Learn. I read docs. I watch tutorial and I build project, but I am unable to write code. Please help, and chat help me. I can promise you, chat is not chat is not where you get unblocked like this. You need more tutorials. You need to pay more attention. You need to write more code, learn more. I don't know, but it's not chat, man. There's a bunch of websites that help you get practice, like Exorcism, for example. Maybe consider those as well. There's also formal education that can help with stuff. Let's see, can I ask a trivial question? If, for example, Unreal Engine and the editor would like to use Zig, how would the conversion migration look like? It's also related to audio VST stuff. The way interoperability of this kind almost always works is that you need to create dynamic libraries most of the time. And so like a DLL or a .so on Linux or a .dylib on macOS. It's the same concept, like DLL on Windows, SO, dylib. It's the same idea. And that thing needs to do two things. One, integrate nicely with the C runtime, because apparently loading dynamic libraries is tied to certain things specific to C that even that have nothing to do with your OS. It's just C stuff. And then it needs to expose, functions and definitions that make sense for the C ABI. So that would be in Zig extern functions, for example. That's it. That's how it works. You can find plenty of examples of this stuff out there. And that is the same for pretty much every language that isn't C, including C++. Even C++ has to fake being C if it wants to be loaded as a DLL normally. Okay, so we are now complaining about Super HTML. So I guess we can then push a Super HTML on the stack. Almost. First, we need to do this. Zig pull, git pull. So we depend on CodeGen, but that should be fine. We depend on AFL kit. That should be fine, I think. Known folders might not be fine, but I guess we'll find out, right? Zig build. Now we now we enjoy to fix these things at this level. So what is the problem now? I think it's our code. Please tell me that it's our code and not a dependency. It is a dependency. It's scripty. Okay, but scripty does not have dependencies, so we are at the bottom of it. No, this is supermd. Although we want to do this also in supermd. So actually no, this is unnecessary. We can upgrade, but we don't need the local one. Okay, so in super HTML, we go to our zone file and look at scripty, and we use the local one. Okay, new tab, scripty. It almost has no dependencies. Let's see. I haven't investigated myself. How would a fallible function in Zig convert to C, return an error code, and an out ptr appended parameter? So a Zig error should become a C integer. Yes, probably. You can also, well, there's a few different strategies. Like sometimes you see that C libraries, they don't just give you a number, but they make like a nice function that takes an error code that from your perspective has like an opaque meaning. Like maybe it's not even an integer, maybe it's a pointer or a struct or whatever. And then they have a nice function for like printing the error. That's usually how it works in C. It's not the best, but your point is not to do the best, right? Your point is to integrate correctly with the C ecosystem, and so you have to accept the C quirks once you do that. So yeah, Zig errors cannot be passed across the boundary because the ABI boundary, because they don't have a what's it called, a stable ABI representation. So yes, so you would return the error code. Oh, I see, and then an out pointer for where to store like the return value. I would maybe not do it this way. Maybe you can do it the opposite way. Like you make the function return the actual value, and then you have an out pointer for an error code. Or maybe you make some kind of result struct that contains both error and the value if present. So yeah, you have basically to choose one of these strategies. Yeah, it's exclusively not viable directly, yes. Okay, let's build scripty. Let's see what's going on here. Build a Zig. No field name target. Yeah. Because these go into the module. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is easy. Next problem. We are not even too much down below, but here what are we doing? Or we're purposely doing debug, single threaded. Okay, we're doing weird shit, so we're not gonna reuse the module from above. Okay, so this is it. Zig build test. Do we even dare to pass tests? Okay, we do the spam is I remember that I left it there on by mistake. So yeah, this is fine. Hi there. I'm sorry if this is a dumb question, but I'm on Zig Master, moving from the old way of print to the std out to using the std out writer. It looks like I need to pass a buffer. What is that buffer? That buffer is for, well, buffering. So in the previous version of reader and writer, creating a well, let's talk about writers specifically. Creating a writer meant that your writer would, every single time you ask it to write something, let's say that you have like a string and you do write 1 byte at a time, which you normally don't do, but that's just as an example. If you did something like this with just a normal writer, what would happen is that every time you call write byte, or sorry, just write, you call write, what it happens is that that function call ends up doing a write syscall. So what you do, you basically move control to the OS for every byte. That's expensive. You don't want to do it normally. I just realized that there is something truly weird with what's going on with my camera. Input what is going on. Okay, yeah, okay, there's stuff happening with my camera. I don't know what's going on, but I could try to disable it and re-enable it. I'm just worried that it's gonna fuck itself up even more. I'm gonna leave it there. So, okay, back to the point. Okay, back to the point. So yeah, every single byte becomes a syscall. Not great. So what you do normally is you add buffering. And previously what you would do is you basically take your writer and then you wrap around it a buffered writer. So there was std.io.buffered writer there was a function that you would give it a writer and then it would give you a buffered writer. So that basically creates a pile of writers, like a layered thing, where the topmost writer does the buffering. So that means that when you try to write a single byte, you don't do that for real. Every single byte gets stored in an internal buffer, and then at some point you need to flush. Now these concepts are not separated as they were before. Now these concepts are more intertwined. So whenever you create a writer, you have the possibility of giving it a buffer. When you have only one writer, so by the way, generally speaking, buffering is good. You want to have buffering, so don't avoid buffering. So now you don't wrap your writer into a buffered writer because the buffering is baked in, but now you need to well, have that memory somewhere on your own. So you basically need to create a buffer and give it to it. If you don't know what to do about it, make a 4 kilobyte array of bytes somewhere, initialize it to undefined, and then you just pass a pointer to that, to your call to when you create the buffer. When you stack buffers, when you stack writers, so maybe this is not going to be your case right now, but occasionally you will still want to create a writer on top of another writer. For example, maybe you have a compressing library, like a compression library. And so what you do is that you want to basically write to a file some data, but in a compressed manner. So you first create the file, then you grab a writer from it, then you instantiate your compression library, and you create a writer that takes in the file writer. So you write to the compression writer, which does the compression, and then writes the compressed data to the file. So when you do this, you don't want to have buffering everywhere. So you only want to give a buffer to maybe the topmost writer. Maybe one writer in the middle will have a requirement for buffering. So you will have to give it to it. They're like the function, the docstring of the buffer init function. The writer init function will tell you if it needs a buffer or not. And so maybe there's some decision making there. But my point is, you don't need to give a buffer to everything. One is fine. unless something requires that of you. That's it. Okay, scripty has been updated, so we can pop that off the stack. So now we're back in Super HTML. Can we fetch scripty? Oh, fuck. This bug is still here. Man, I hate this. Okay, Zig build. Okay, now we still have rubble. But now it's us. Okay. Build.zig. Let's go. Okay, so this one's CLI. This one's WASM. This one's CLI. This one's AFL. So we want to create probably a CLI module. Setup release step. Oh, but this is release fast, and in the if we were to make a top one, wouldn't be the same. Okay, never mind. Okay, so here was him. By the way, for people watching who have no idea how the Zig build system works, like if you're somebody who is trying to do some Zig and you find the Zig build system hard to understand and intimidating, I made a few weeks ago. I made a few weeks ago this. I made this video that basically goes through the basics of the Zig build system and allows you to create modules, import them, export them. Well, the basics. So go check it out. Bork send this. Oh shit, that one has okay. That one has the also the time. But you get the idea. I'm gonna pass it also to YouTube. Did I do it right? Yeah, okay. Okay, back to our main program. So fix that. Set up CLI tool. So okay, next. Unit tests. Oh. Huh. that is a problem because we don't want to apply side effects to super HTML. Shit. How is this defined? Is this const pointer? No, it's not const. It's mutable. So we can't even like accept this one const here. Well, we can, but it's weird dense. So how do we do this? We cannot accept super HTML. We cannot accept super HTML as a module, and we have to define it ourselves because we want to define it with the with the optimization level that we care about. Is that it? That's actually debatable because maybe you do want to optimize differently. I'm just gonna do this. Where's the next problem? Here. Okay. Still errors, but we're getting closer. No field name pick in object options. Oh shit, that's AFL++, which we should update. Does this make things any better? It does not. Let's see. I'm hoping Zig adds more documentation about their build system in the future. There are things that are not yet clear, which path you should take, mostly when it comes to adding C and C++ libraries. Well, the problem with that is that not all of it is, how can I say? You want documentation about things that are like Zig specific. I don't know, you know, you're not defining specifically what you're referring to. So my answer is generic and maybe not, it doesn't fully apply to exactly what you meant to say. But in the general process of bundling, of like creating build scripts for C and C++ projects, you have to deal with C and C++ specific things and maybe even CMake isms, because the fact that the project was originally designed to be built with CMake maybe has influenced some decisions on how things are organized. And that has very little to do with the Zig build system. So it's stuff that you need to know, but it's not exactly build system documentation. There would be maybe some tutorials, some learning material that teaches you how to do stuff with the Zig build system, sure, but not strictly documentation of the build system, I would argue. The ability to add C binding via add module and add library and get the exact same outcome feels weird. Exact same outcome feels weird. Well, but it's not really, because the way there is a difference here. So when you do add module, you end up doing this. You end up doing zig build xz foo.zig and then a.o, b.o, c.o, d.o. Like you're basically creating object files for the C files whenever you do add module. When you do add library, assuming static linkage, then you're doing then you end up doing lib a or like libfoo.a. So you assume that A, B, and C and D are all C files inside this C project called foo. When instead you do add library, you create an archive. And yes, the archive does contain A.o, B.o, C.o. So it contains object files for all the original files, but it's but how can I say? Yes, the two outcomes are equivalent, but that's how it works in C. Like what I just showed you here, it's are the two paths you can take in C to do this the same thing. So I have a little bit of it's slightly janky. Anyway, how many years it's been your coding since? I don't know. I'm 35, so I don't know. I started around high school, maybe. So, well, maybe a little bit earlier than high school, but if we talk about like professionally, since I was done with university, so I don't know the exact count, but it's like what, 10 years, something like this, more or less. Okay. So now we need to fix AFL++, huh? Let's see if there are PRs on AFL++. Also, I didn't check if Scripty had PRs. Okay, let's see if Scripty has PRs. No. Oh, there's a failure. CI failed. Oh, expressed string literal. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we can fix this because in CI, we want mlog setup v2. So here's how we can do it. Zig version, copy. We don't put it here. So no width. So the v2 of the setup Zig action can do this. Looks at your zone file, looks at the minimum Zig version, and uses that. Hello, Mazo. Okay, let's see if this bad boy now works. Let's see, it makes sense looking at it that way. My confusion really came from the lack of clarification in that regard and no consistency across all the bindings I looked at. Yeah, because the problem is that how can I say? I don't mean that we should I don't want to chicken out from the responsibility of having docs for Zig, because we should obviously do that. And in any case, we should eventually also have learning material that isn't strictly our documentation, for sure. Like, we should teach people how to do stuff, even if it's not, Zig related. The point is that, as things are going and changing, and given the resources that we have, we're not a big tech company. We don't have any big tech company giving us money. So because of that, we have to prioritize things. But yes, as a general point, the majority of the issue is that the C ecosystem is a complete mess. Nothing makes sense. It's all like, things that have evolved separately. It's like you go to this. So it's been millions of years since the dinosaurs have died, and so you've used to, modern day animals and the ecosystem. So, there's like insects and tiny animals, tiny mammals, birds and whatnot. But then you go to this island, and this island somehow has been, unaffected from changes from I don't know, the last 2 million years. And so you go there and you see that everything is weird. Everything has evolved weird. And you have like plants that suck birds out of the sky, you know, that kind of stuff, and you get very confused. Well, that's the C++ build system experience. Like you look at it and nothing makes sense, and you see these weird animals like I don't know, laying eggs and then immediately eating it, and you're saying, wait, why is this animal putting in effort to make an egg only to eat it right after? And the answer is, it just happened that it evolved that way, even though it makes no fucking sense, because and those animals were maybe everywhere before, but then they made no sense evolutionarily speaking, and so they just got went extinct. They went extinct. It's the C++ experience. Yo, update CI is now green. Let's go. Let's watch setup Zig be clever. There we go. Fetching Zig SEC64, blah blah blah. The one that we asked for. Cache miss. Fetching it. Available mirrors. Let's go. So everything is clever. Okay, so Scripty is good. So we did a tiny detour into Scripty before now, so we can exit this. So now we have to fix AFL++. We were saying git pull. Oh, and also we wanted to see if we had PRs on it, which we might, because it's an Allure code based project. Is it case insensitive? It is case insensitive. 4 months ago there was a PR, but that was it. Okay. So build.zig, what's the problem? There's no pick in here. You can do pick in add object. Well, you can do that. You can do that. You can't do that. You need to do that in the module. By the way, this whole thing would look less silly if we were able to move this stuff inside create module, but it's okay. And maybe you can, and it's just me not leveraging the API correctly. But you know what? If that is the case, then maybe these things will be deprecated, and once deprecation comes, I will be forced to do things right. Okay, same concept here. Just wrappers. But it does feel silly to create like empty module that has no source file in it at all. I don't know. Okay, so many executables. Got CPU. What? Let's see, totally agree. Looking at building strategies in multiple C projects really is something. The fact that we have a tool CMake to generate build configuration for another build tools is insane to me. Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah, I really wonder why my camera stuff is, I'm gonna try to deactivate it and reactivate it. Let's see if that fixed anything. We'll see. Sadly, you cannot add C-source files directly in the create module call. You cannot? Oh, right, because you can only do that, I guess, as side effects, maybe. Yeah, because, I mean, to a module, you can, I believe, append the C files somewhere manually, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe this is all stuff that's managed through functions. Never mind. Yeah, in any case, this is work for an AI. I shouldn't be doing this manually, but what can we do? We'll get there eventually. God damn it. Oh, oh, I might be done. I might be done. Or no, close to though. Getting close. Or maybe not. So many silly tools in this thing. Oh my god. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one. Add shared library. Dynamic? Is it not dynamic? Yeah. Next problem. Oh, snap. This also didn't have any of the other stuff. The mechanic can compute. Oh, sign of a big negative number. Wait, that is a very big negative number. What makes it? What makes this number peculiar? Like this specific case peculiar? It would be pretty cool if root source file also accepted C files implicitly. You know that I think it might. I might be wrong, but I think you can give to it a C file. Can you not? No, maybe you can't. I might be wrong. The live has real-time subtitles. Yeah, I think I've added support of that myself. Is this a Twitch feature? I don't think it is, or maybe it is. Wait, because I remember there was captions experimental, but it's not enabled. So never mind. Is this Twitch? Wait, let me check. You are also wait. No, you're writing from YouTube. So this is not Twitch. This is YouTube. Yeah, I think the YouTube has support for that. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I see them as well. Clever YouTube. Let's see. It needs a reference. It needs to reference a 686 entry table with the digits of pi squared, of pi divided by 2. Sorry. I was updating my Zig projects this week, and I think I might attempt to build Python bindings in Zig in an idiomatic way. To build Python bindings in Zig in an idiomatic way. So you're talking about a library for making Python CFFI modules, something along the lines of Ziggy PyDust. I'm assuming that you heard about that project, which I think right now is like looking for maintainers. But wink, wink. Let's see. No version. So version goes outside. Oh, I guess I'm gonna put it here. You didn't find it intuitive as it currently stands. Yes, well, Zig does. When it was designed originally, this is one of the textbook problems when it comes to people approaching Zig for the first time. They often, and by the way, I did that myself as well. They kind of try to shoot for the maximum possible level of syntax sugar and magic stuff, and so the result is that they try to come up with comp time abstractions that are too much, too complicated, too brittle. Ziggy PyDast, I believe, was trying to create like a global registry of like I think, I don't remember exactly why, but I think that whenever you make a type, like whenever you make a new let's say, yeah, like struct that you want to be something that can interoperate with Python, then that needs to be registered somewhere. I don't remember precisely why, but they were trying to do that using comp time in a global manner because they were exploiting a flow in comp time that we used to have, where you were able to basically observe changes in basically you were able to have non-scoped comp time bars, and they were abusing that to some degree. Yeah, and I believe that stuff doesn't even work anymore. And then the company decided to go a different path or something, so they weren't maintaining it within the company anymore or something. So yeah, that is a thing that tends to happen. Okay. Passing 2 more tests at the cost of failing 2 new tests. That's just life. Are we done? We're not done. More version stuff that needs to be pulled out. Man, look at ZLS. Look at how much weight it's pulling. It's making this refactoring much more feasible than it would be otherwise, honestly. I think you will need some level of comp time extraction to handle registration with Python. However, I'm starting to wonder if that should belong to the build system rather than the what Ziggy PyDast does. Your point being that instead of registering types, you put basically each type in its own module, and then maybe you have a convention for which variable name to use to get a handle to that thing. And so you do at the build system level. I don't know, maybe. I don't have enough experience with the problem to have a strong opinion, or actually any opinion. But I also think that, generally speaking, having a manual like decal that you have to put in your root file where you do manual registration, it's fine. It's part of the Zig life, and it's good. It's good to have explicit stuff. It really is nice. For example, there's a SQLite library for Zig that does a bunch of comp time around SQLite, and man, I couldn't understand how it was supposed to work. And it was very annoying that library was doing so much comp time shit, and then it would break horribly whenever I did something wrong, but I didn't know how to do things right. The docs weren't immediately clear to me, and the comp time complexity made it harder for me to learn what the library was doing. And so this was when in the D2 project, so which it's currently parked. But when I go back to D2, the first thing that I'm going to do is rip out that library and replace it with something simpler. Not because the library is necessarily inherently bad or anything, but it's just like way too much freaking comp time. It becomes hard to learn the thing. And when it breaks, it breaks horribly because of all the metaprogramming. Unpark. Do you use some specific version of ZLS? No, I just upgraded Zig, so I also upgraded ZLS. So you tend to want to upgrade both at the same time because you want a version of ZLS that understands your version of Zig. Because, you know, there might be a new language change, and so old ZLS will not understand the new language change. Other than that, the only special thing that I have is that I have a check step in my build scripts. And so ZLS is able to run Zig build in the background and give me errors from the compiler. So ZLS doesn't understand. ZLS is not able to give you semantic errors. It's able to give you syntax errors and maybe a little bit more than just syntax errors. But not, it doesn't, the ZLS doesn't understand that you're trying to add like a int variable with a string variable. It doesn't understand that that's what's going on. But it can run Zig build, and it can show you the errors that you get from running Zig build. So I have that set up. And so that's why I'm able to get these errors. Hey, Elite Cannon, currently reaping any, like any type, and then the generic stuff. Yeah. I'm not there yet because I still need to fix my dependencies and their build scripts, but I'm getting closer. Can we Zig build? Holy shit, we Zig build. Do I dare Zig build test? We don't have tests. Okay, good for me. Push it to prod. By the way, we don't have tests because, you know, it's a C code base, so we would need to like move their testing to the build system. But then C projects like to use Python and weird shit for testing, so yeah. But this seems fine. I just changed the build system, and all the changes were trivial at the end of the day. Okay, so we have a new AFL++. What does that mean? That now I need to have now I need to go to AFL kit, pull Zig fetch save AFL++, Zig build. I don't know if we have test. As you can see, we don't even have test here. So GC, let's go. Okay. Save it as AFL underscore kit. Zig build. Also, wait, why am I doing save as AFL kit? Wait a second. Nice. Nice. Okay. So I can fetch a Zig AFL kit. Invalid fingerprint. Right. Fuck. Well, okay. Fuck it. Because if you change the name of a package, then the fingerprint becomes invalid. Do, 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 do. I should have run Zig build. Okay. Zig build. Oh, I'm an idiot. No, that is up to date. Wait, what? Wait a second. Uh, Git push. So we did push. Ha, yo. Nice. What's going on? So wait. So this is up to date. This says it's up to date. So what is going on here? Oh. It might be the FL kit of one of my other dependencies. Wait, I have AFL++ in here directly? Why? Oh, because I installed the tooling. Wait, that might be it. But there's still... Okay. We do depend on AFL kit. Okay, so Zig fetch Zig AFL kit. So in our zone file here we have AFL kit, which is lazy, and we have AFL++, which is not lazy. That is so weird. Wait, what do we even... I think this is wrong. We should not have AFL++ in here. Okay, so what could the problem be? The problem could be all the AFL kit and all the scripty. Yeah, the problem is definitely all the scripty. Oh, by the way, did I flicker out of existence anymore? It seems to me that by restarting my stuff now the camera is fine. Okay, so now LSP code gem is pre-writer gate. FMT docs. What in my web of dependencies is pooping itself? So LSP code gen, is this the new stuff that, yeah, so this is the new stuff. So this is the Zig Tools LSP code gen. Could it be anything else? No, because Scriptio doesn't have any LSP dependency. Does it? It does not have any of that kind. So it's this. Maybe we can just update it and see what happens. Zig Tools, Zig LSP code gen. Let's see. The heck happened with this .git? Oh shit! It happened. You renamed it to LSP kit. Let's go. Okay. So I also think at this point we should call it. Wait. We should call it LSP kit. Wait. Did you rename the project but not the repository? Well, let's see what happens now. It's ztools / LSP kit. The heck? Why was it not working for me? Oh, without Zig dash? Ah, that's fair. I mean, it's a Zig organization. Ah, that makes total sense. Understood. Cool. Nice. Look, yeah, I was mentioning earlier for people who are new, you see that I was seeing an error from ZLS here, right? Because that's where our build was pooping itself. What am I doing? The build. I disappeared again. Oh shit. Well, then it's not fully fixed. God damn it, road hardware. Ambiguous format stuff. Oh shit. Yeah, now we have fun. Prominent compile errors, reference trace. Let's go. Oof. Okay, CLI 35. Question mark. Ambiguous format string. Right. So trace is an optional, but we don't know what. I'm assuming it has a format thing. So yeah, it's question mark F. T. I guess I'm gonna start from the bottom, maybe. Login.zig. Keeps shifting around by a few pixels. Yeah, I think that the capture card is kind of going insane somehow, and it's not clear to me exactly how. But that's, I think, what we are experiencing. Oh yeah, there's. Yeah, no, okay. It's, I don't know. Maybe I need to reboot my computer, or it's just dying. File the Zig writer function declared here. Oh shit! Let's go. Log in the Zig line 40. Buffer writer. Yep. So it's gonna be our writer, but then we need to give it a buffer. And oh, I'm finally doing the writer interface stuff. No field of function named writer in fs file of writer. Oh, yeah. Of course. Okay, next problem. Print. No function named print in fs.file.writer. Do you call .writer on this guy? Wait a second. You should be using logcdr write to log a file, since that also clears progress output. In the interface field. Okay. So interface field. So wait, you do the writer, but it needs to be mutable, right? I guess this is FW, like the file writer, and then you do then local variable is never mutated. You do ampersand on the interface. The IO writer. I'm a little bit confused. So this does init on file buffer. Right, the interface is stateful. Yes, you're right. Okay, I get it now. Right, of course. It needs to be a pointer because it's stateful. Makes sense. Ooh, this stuff is different, huh? Isn't it? Oh god. Okay. Allocating writer. Where do you grab that from? Does file expose that type of stuff? Yeah, sorry guys, my camera is flickering. I don't know what's going on with that. CDO writer allocating to. Can't wait for the 101 Zig helps, which are ultimately goes by const v equals after the interface. Yeah. Sorry. Write file stuff, write file, all write file unseekable. Write file. Wait. What are we doing? I think this is also reader stuff. Wait. Reader. Read to end alloc. I guess we want one of these things. Read all array lists, read to end alloc. Why did we make this an array list? Right. Oh, deprecated in favor of reader. Never mind. Oof. So all this stuff is deprecated. Std.reader. We don't give it a buffer. Can we do that interface? Can we do this? No, we can't because this makes a temporary, which is not mutable. So this needs to become file reader. And then we do fr.interface dot dot what? Sorry, you did say writer allocating, but I'm not sure how that matches with what I'm doing. So I'm gonna explore the interface a little bit. Stream exact, stream remaining, discard, unlock remaining. Transfers all bytes from the current position to the end of the stream up to limit. Maybe that's what I want. Unlock remaining. Read back. Read back limit. Pick. Toss. Take? What does take mean? Equivalent to pick followed by toss. What? What's toss? Skips the next n bytes from the stream, advancing the seek position. This is typically and safely used after peak. Assess the number of bytes buffered is a list as n. Take array, pick array. Discard all. Read slice all. Fill buffer with the next buffer length bytes. Read slice short. Read alloc. Okay. Take sentinel, pick sentinel. Pick delimiter, take delimiter, pick stream delimiter. Discard the limiter. I think I found the one that made sense for me. Take byte. I'm just doing this to make sure I take a look at least at everything once. Take struct, take enum. Writable slice greedy alloc returns a slice into the unused capacity of buffer with a least min len. Advanced buffer and rebase. Base capacity steal. Wait, what are all these things? Advances the stream and decreases the size of the storage buffer by n, returning the range of bytes no longer accessible by r. Whoa, all these fancy operations. Okay. Restitute, I'm guessing that's the opposite. It's like returning the stuff, but it can be returned, so it's restitute. That's a funny name. Hashed, limited, fixed, stream, discard. I guess I could stream into a writer interface from allocator maybe, but I think alloc remaining is what I want. So what does this do? This makes an array list and then calls append remaining. Is this public? Oh, so we did have this append remaining. Okay. But wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. We are reading what? We're reading from standard input. We're passing the bytes to this function, and then we're writing this stuff. Okay. Oh, but we're appending 0. That is kind of important. Wait a second. Do reader and then reader. Wait, did I dream about a pen? Where's the pen stuff? Oh wait, I mean wait, there's no append word anywhere in this file? Oh wait, but I'm in the wrong thing. I'm in a fast file. Right. I want to be in IO reader. There we go. Okay, append remaining. Writer.allocating dot to one slice. But wait, this is a wait, writer. I'm confused. Wait, I have a reader here and I'm doing interface and then I do append something something. What was it? Append remaining. So that should be fine. Reader. GPA. Oh, it wants an array list aligned unmanaged. You can create a writer allocating instead of array list and stream into that. Well, let me see if I can use this API or if it's a problem. Okay, does that work? So we try this. You skip too many messages. Let's see. What did you say? You need to provide a reader buffer to use append remaining. You need to provide a reader buffer. You mean you're talking about list? Sorry, Jacob Lee, I'm just not following you. I need to I need to I guess experiment with this stuff myself a little bit more. There's no empty. Is this array list the new array list or is this the old one still? Oh, this is the one that oh, this holds the allocator. So we still need to do unmanaged. Okay, does this one have empty? It does. Except type IO of limit found comp time int. What's an IO dot limit? Oh, nothing unlimited number. I guess. Except two arguments found one. I'm guessing it's GPA. Okay, so I mean, this works as is. What we're suggesting, SED in reader, need buffer here to use append remaining. Does it? A source buffer has non-zero capacity. I see. Mm. Hmm. Does it actually assert that it has non-zero capacity? I don't see the assert, but okay, I get it. So this is not the right API for me. Hey, Matt. Hello. Thank you for the resub. For appending to a pre-existing release from somewhere else, and not for creating one from scratch. I see. So you are suggesting to see writer allocating. So you're saying we don't do this, but we create a writer that writes to an allocating writer is a writer that writes to an array list. I'm guessing, or well, writes to a slice, I guess. Okay. I don't know. So wstd.io.writer.allocating. Then let's see. Maintains writer states such as it writes to the unused capacity of an array list, filling it completely before making a call through the vtable, causing a resize consequently. The same optimized non-generic blah blah blah. You give it an allocator. It has a writer interface. You do init capacity, init own slice from array list. None of these matter for us. Okay. Okay, and then you do what you call it AW. Oh, allocating writer. Okay. And then you do file reader dot interface. And then what do? You do stream, some kind of streaming. What does stream do? Does it stream everything? Stream exact, stream remaining. Handling end of stream as a success case. I guess we want maybe stream remaining sounds interesting. Why do we want to just stream though? Also, why does the stream not have any doc comment? God damn it. This says that it handles end of stream as a success. This one, yeah, so that's what we want. Hey Matt, yeah, I'm enjoying Writer Gate. It's not Writer, right, that we want. Yeah. Stream remaining, and then the returns the total number of bytes returned to W. Okay, so we don't care about we discard the result. Okay, and then we need to get our bytes out. So to on slice sentinel. Wait, in this mix, we're missing an allocator. Where's the... We need to... Wait, we need to give an allocator around. What is going on? All right, init needs GPA. Okay. So we have a reader, we have an allocating writer, we stream to the allocating writer, and then we grab bytes from the allocating writer. This writer... It really seems a lot like an array list. Anyway. Okay, so we get out bytes from this thing. And then we want to write everything to std out. Jesus, what an adventure. Okay, now do it 10,000 more times everywhere else. Okay. Oh, no, wait. So, what? Oh, string remaining had a problem? What's the problem? Pointer, huh? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Root source file struct IO. Oh, there's an alias to lowercase IO. Oh, right. I'm using lowercase IO. That's yeah. That's there for convenience, but I guess it's going away, so let's do it. What were we saying? Hmm? Oh, why am I looking at this reference trace? I shouldn't be looking at the reference trace when it's not necessary. Interface 78. Render interface. What are we doing? Whew. Okay. Oh, wait a second. I'm adding buffering to this writer. We need to flush it. We need to, if we add buffering, we need to flash this bad boy, or we don't add buffering. In this case, render interface honestly doesn't really need buffering, so I guess it would be fine. Fuck it. But somewhere we did add buffering, did we not? I think we did add buffering somewhere, and that implies that we need to flash. Maybe I deleted the code where I was doing this stuff. No? There we go, log fn. Oh, but we did flash. Okay, never mind. So where the one place where we did this, we did flash, so that was fine. You can check out an array list as an allocating writer and then put it back when you just want the array list again. But why do it this way and not just give the ability to an array list to have a writer interface? Because that used to be the case, right? I'm not sure if this is still doable or not, like if this code is still there or was deleted or what. But previously you could take you created an array list and then you grabbed a writer interface from it, and then that writer would just write into the array list. And that was it. That said, I guess it's just a matter of how you want to organize things. It needs a GPA, right? And new arrays will not have a stored allocator. Right. So the way it would have to work is that you can't just grab an interface. You would have to grab some implementation from which you grab the interface, and that's basically what we were doing here. Okay, I get it. One 178, 179. Debug internal. Oh no. Not a kind and no dot depth. What's depth? It's just a number, so that should be fine. That's a slice. That's a slice. That's a slice, or so it seems. Oh, in file writer. Add static library and add shared library are now add library, and then there's a field called dot linkage. So you do dot linkage equals dot static or dot dynamic. It makes it easier to switch from one to the other, basically. No problem. Render interface. I think it was here that we were calling. Oh, here we're passing stdr.writer. Right, but this guy needs to be saved somewhere. Right, and you need to pass it around as pointer, so it's not just writer. It's a star writer. Okay. Oh, right. And now that I fixed some any type stuff, now I'm getting more errors. Oof. Okay. What's the problem now? Interface to 85. Print errors. So we can't do this anymore. Huh. So we pass around pointers to writer. But if we're passing around pointers to writer, then why have a vtable? No, sure you thought your question through. No, I did not. Let's see. Print interface from file. What are we doing here? What are we passing down? We're passing path down twice, apparently. Wait, what is the problem here? Oh, I should stop looking at, you know what? No more reference traces, just makes me read the wrong thing. Interface 64. Okay, what are we doing here? An arena, open file, start file, create an array list, read into the array list. Oh, we're doing the same thing again. So we want to do this type of stuff. Almost all of it. So we want to read from file reader. File is open file. But if we do this, we don't even want to go through any interface. Doesn't file have some read all thing? No. Oh, I know who has this. It's, well, read to end lock. There we go. Deprecated in favor of reader. God damn it. Wait, what about what about there? Where's there? What about read file? Not deprecated. Read file unlock? Not deprecated. Let's go. So yeah, we can do read file unlock. Arena file path. Max bytes. I don't know, something like this. So we don't have to close the file. Oh shit, no, we need to open the file because we want to start the file. Oh, but we were returning error is there. Which we should get from here as well, right? Opens the file, file too big. Well, no, my point is not why does it have pointers to other functions? My point is why not inline all the function pointers directly into that struct instead of having another pointer to another struct? Oh, because LLVM sucks. Okay. So you're saying that it's better to have double in direction, then I guess this has to do with the problem that LLVM doesn't know that you're not gonna change those pointers, right? If I remember correctly. Okay. So refile unlock. Do we do this ourselves? You know what? I mean, at the end, I think this is fine. And then I want options because I want also the null delimiter. Because I'm gonna fix this later. Okay. Let's see. Their allocator file path max bytes size hint null, no size hint alignment 1 optional sentinel 0. There we go. Okay, so this should be it. And what is the next problem? Expected mem alignment found compile. Oh, wait. New thingy. What? What? Dude. Wait, was I giving it the wrong value then? No, it's just stored as a power of 2. Can you give me just .1, for example? Max mean of... I guess we can... Oh, I guess the assumption is that you just do of normally. Interface 40. Deprecated though. Should it really be this deprecated? I mean, oh no, I get it why. No. I get it why. It's because if I just want to do a one-shot write, sure, this would still be fine. But if I have any other, if I want to make sure that any other thing is leveraging like send file and whatnot, we still need to go. We want to go through reader and writer all the time. We don't want to bail out of that system. Man, the functional programming language people were right all along. We're slowly becoming a functional programming language. It's monads everywhere. Fork is not showing YouTube messages anymore. Yes, sorry. This is a known bug. I'm gonna fix it. But I'm being lazy because I don't want to fix it in the current version of IO. I want to wait for the new version of IO before fixing it. But let's see what people are saying. So passing pointer of empty thingy as a buffer disables buffering with writer gate. Well, yes, because you're giving it an empty buffer. Is there a reason not to use null instead? Yes, because you pass null and then it complains, I suspect. So but I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference. You're communicating the same thing at the end of the day, and yeah, there's no big difference. It's just a choice. What is this project? I wish I could have come to Systems Distributed this year. Hey, Jonathan. So this project here is, well, these are all my projects, basically. This is Super HTML is a templating library and language server for HTML that I made for my static site generator. So there has been this big change in how I/O is done in Zig. Well, not that big. There's been this medium-sized change in preparation for the much bigger change that's coming soon-ish, in a few months. And so, yeah, I'm just upgrading my stuff, and upgrading takes time because I need to learn how to do things the new way. And also because we are starting to move towards a different design around all these things. And so to do well, you need to, like, some of this stuff would need to be re-architected probably to really leverage the new stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it there and leave that job for future me. Okay, what is the problem now? Root source file IO has not member named get std out. Wait, who's doing this? Oh, okay, so I needed to just build again. IO get cd in FMT. Okay, so we're basically in a situation where we have the same problem again and again and again and again. You know what I think I'm gonna do? Oh no, there is no read all alloc options, is there? Ah, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. So we want to do this dance again? And then we don't call render interface, but we call FNP HTML. And then everything else is done this way. Same thing here. And then we have format file. This does open file plus stat. Oh, we catch is there. You pass nothing. Well, you do not wait. You call b dot create module, and then you put an empty tuple inside create module. Or you can give it to it target and optimize, but you basically, in your call to create module, you don't specify a root source file. Okay, I need to make sure that trying to do read file alloc returns error is there if it's a directory, which I'm not, it's not clear to me if it does that. I think it should. I just haven't seen it. This goes to read file alloc options. This does open file. This does stat size. Oh, it doesn't call stat. But I guess This does call stat. But if it's a directory, I fear I might be regressing functionality doing this. I think we need a test program to test this behavior. Okay. File too big. Oh, that's fair. Now it works. Now let's use a file that doesn't exist. File not found. Now let's give it a directory. And I want is there. Okay, it does give me is there. Perfect. Okay, so this behavior is preserved. So what were we doing? So we don't open the file. We don't start the file. This though needs to be done before we read the file, after we read the file, sorry, because we want to read the file first and return error is there if it is a directory before we do file extension detection. So this needs to be moved up here. And this becomes in bytes is, oh, I should not have deleted that. What was there before? Okay, and this replaces all this stuff. Man, there's a long list of things I need to fix. But we're making progress bit by bit. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna call it a day right now and think about dinner since it's getting late. But maybe later on I'll be in Discord to do some more work and chat with people. Yeah, people watching. So I'm sorry, this has been a boring stream, except my camera flickering on and off. Sorry, it's not a camera though, it's the capture card. Anyway, sorry, this has been a boring stream. But as you know, that's sometimes how things are.